he was here and he punched me in the face.
Right here?
Right up around here.
Okay.
To be honest,
That's fine.
I don't remember exactly. I think I stumbled and I fell down. He pushed me down. Somehow he got on top of me.
On the grass or on the cement?
It was more over towards here. I think I was trying to push him away from me, and then he got on top of me somewhere around here.
I saw what looked as fingers and arms flailing. They're in a standing position.
So, George Zimmerman says that Trayvon Martin, I'm Trayvon, comes up after a few words. Trayvon punches him in the face. He stumbles and falls to the ground. And then Trayvon gets on top of him. But the prosecutor says that's not true. It didn't happen that way because a witness says that person saw Trayvon and George Zimmerman struggling upright. So which is it? Additionally, prosecutors say that Trayvon Martin's body was found a full 30 feet away from where George Zimmerman says he was knocked to the ground. They can't both be right. Let's go into the Lion's Den and debate it, starting with Natalie Jackson, the attorney for Trayvon Martin's family. Two different stories, and this lady on the stand says she saw two people struggling standing up. Which is it?
Thanks for having me, Jane. I think that, the problem that every lawyer has with cross-examining and trying to impeach a bystander is the fact that they're a bystander, and they usually don't have a dog in the fight. So, the jury usually defaults to what they say.
Frank Taffy, you are a friend of defendant George Zimmerman. There are two different versions here. Which is it?
Celine was, she was taken apart by Mr. O'Mara with surgical precision. She couldn't remember, I can't remember, I don't remember. And then if you listen very closely, towards the end of her testimony, it falls apart. And if that's the best the state's got, bring them on. Because I'm going to tell you, if they're all like that, then I think we got a very good chance to get an acquittal in this case.
Areva Martin. Areva Martin.
Yeah, Jane, I think that witness was very, very clear in her testimony. She saw what was happening. She was staring out of her window, and I think her testimony is going to be very believable. I think George Zimmerman is going to have a hard time.
You listen to the same
Hold on
testimony
a second. Mike Brooks, HLN law enforcement analyst. Mike Brooks.
She was a terrible witness on the stand for the prosecution today.
Thank you, Mike.
She was horrible. She was horrible. She couldn't get it.
Mike.
They impeached her. The defense impeached her. She didn't have
not impeach her.
She did.
Okay, one at a time, guys.
Stand by.
One at a time. Let's listen to Mike, and then we'll give a chance to respond.
As an investigator, I'm listening to what she has to say, what her initial story was, what her deposition was, and then today, all of a sudden, she comes up with a different version of what happened. And the prosecution, you didn't see them objecting during cross-examination, did you? No,
well,
because
the
defense
didn't think it hurt
impeached
them.
her. Yeah, it does.
Because
she was a wash.
Probably hurt. I agree
Go
with
ahead,
Mike
John.
I agree with Mike that her testimony was in part impeached. But what probably hurt even more was the fact that she liked a page on Facebook, Justice for Trayvon Martin.
Go.
That is a pretty big problem for
I have
the
something to
credibility
say about
of
that.
Evangeline Gomez.
Jane, I thought she was a horrible witness. She had this lost in space look the entire time she was on the stand. She was impeached. Her initial statement didn't match what she was saying on the stand. And this was very bad for the prosecution because this is their first witness. She admitted it was dark outside. And I don't know where they're going to go from here.
Wait a second. Hold on. I want to give Natalie Jackson a chance to respond before we go back into court. Natalie.
I said, what is her bias? She was not impeached. They did not get her testimony. She said that the movement was from left to right. On her first statement, she said that there was movement. It all depends on the question that you ask, whether and what the answer that is given.
She only told her sister that. She never told Sereno. She never told any of the inspectors for the state.